Welcome back to welcome to part 44 of Ni no Kuni. I gotta stop doing that.
Pardon us, audience. We're a bit frazzled and dazzled because, as far as we are concerned, Ni no Kuni is a more realistic world than the world we live in right now.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
No, seriously, this is more realistic than a world where Donald Trump became president, Brexit was a thing, and Bubsy came back before Mega Man, Castlevania, and other franchises
I like that, the
did.
fact that Brexit exists.
and Shaq Fu. Let's not forget Shaq Fu and fucking Night Trap. Because if there's one franchise that from Sega CD that everybody wanted to return remastered, it was definitely Night Trap, not fucking Snatcher from Hideo Kojima.
And Knack 2, aka I'm Mark Cerny, please love my creation.
Yeah, the sad part is that Mark is such a cool guy. I really feel sad for that particular scenario.
Anyway, back to
Al-Mamoon is
the
pretty much
beta.
the same as Ding Dong Dell, and so Hamelin will be. But obviously, since that city was covered by King Tommy, and this is the Khalifa, he is gonna be a bit different. Yeah, that's the Khalifa.
Back to COD World War 3.
Very nice.
Literally a cow.
Queen Lola in
Inhuman
unkindness, Jesus.
She's more cow. Oh my god, she's more.
Well, might as well take advantage of the boss battle to finish my thought. Like it's for those who are not aware, Mark Cerny, aside from being the creator, is also the lead engineer of the PS4 hardware. So he knows that console better than anyone at Sony, obviously. And he's a really cool guy because, like every time you hear him talk in interviews, he seems like a really nice guy. Which is why it makes me sad that the guy passionately created this new franchise and barely any people care about it. That's
a bit of backstory, folks. Knack was a noble failure, but a failure nonetheless.
It's not bad, it's just mediocre.
Well, here's also the main problem. Knack was supposed to be the answer to people asking for a new cartoony platformer for Sony. Like, seriously, you can tell Knack is so based off of Crash Bandicoot with his colors. And, well, now the actual Crash
We're getting one, alright.
See, here's the thing.
Fortunately, we got Rich and Clank later. So.
Not only that, but now the real Crash is back. Because, seriously, just look at Knack and try and tell me they weren't trying to give you a Crash Bandicoot feel with him. Although, they mixed in a beat-em-up, which honestly makes the Werehog look innovative by comparison.
That and the 4 Naughty Dog-made Jack games are coming to the PS4 as well.
Yeah, you know, I do kind of feel sorry for the guy, but Knack 2's gonna get even more plowed over now that Crash and Jack are back.
Yeah. Hopefully after this he'll be able to move on to something else. Anyway, crikey, it looks like she's getting ready for a body slam. Watch yourself, Ollie boy. She's a happy weapon and almost alright,
Drippy, you're facing the wrong way. There you go.
Oh god, maybe if you made her even heavier, she wouldn't be able to get out the ground. Go on, man. Try using a spell to wear her down. Alright, Dubs, alright, Dubs, that's time for some, since it's about a body slam, it's time for some good old-fashioned WWE style commentary.
I was actually gonna say Pokemon, but okay.
Pedro, I don't know about you, but why is time frozen? Oh, it's back moving now.
Yeah. And look at that! It's our chance! Oliver can take advantage of this. Let's see what he does.
Oh god! He's good!
Oh my god! He's getting ready for the Even Star! He's getting ready to do the Even Star! It's Even Star! It's Even Star!
Oh god, Jerry! Pedro!
So,
I can't fucking believe it!
So, let's see. If this is wrestling, I just need to check the script and see who wins.
Sorry, Jova, but we enacted the Montreal Screwjob and changed the ending without you knowing.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Also, Jova, don't ruin it for people.
Basically, Jova, there was an infamous match back in 1997 between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. It was originally supposed to end with Hart winning, but without Bret Hart's knowledge, it was abruptly ended with
It's
Shawn
burning
Michaels
hurt!
winning.
He's gonna do burning hurt! It's a hit! It's a hit, Pops! It's a hit!
Oh god!
Go ahead.
And then Bret Hart was leaving anyway, but he left under not very pleasant terms. But he did come back in 2010.
I just can never wrap my head around it, though. What fun is there in a sport where everything's just gonna be acted out and the win's already predetermined?
See, the problem is that you're looking at it as a sport. It's not what it is. It's meant to be entertainment. Think of it like a very physical type of theater.
Yeah,
think of it like that.
That's the problem, though. know.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
never really a sport.
that's the problem, though. I mean, I know it's that, but most people I know don't know it, and thus they treat it like a sport.
Well, Jova,
Not for nothing, dudes, but not for nothing, Jova. But if people are stupid, that's not really
Yeah,
the
that's their
wrestling's
problem.
fault. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's not really WWE's fault that people are stupid and can actually, tell right from wrong. Honestly.
Well, okay. It's not just my society, but society in general
Maybe I'll-
seems to still treat that like a sport. Like they actually put it on the sports channel. Like seriously, it's not a
Well,
sport.
It's mostly because of the popularity of it, Java. I think it's one of those things where okay, think of it like this. You know how even though we know that the Muppets are actually puppets with the puppeteers putting their hands in the thing, even though every time they show up in live events, it's always just the Muppets, and we always like to pretend that they're actually real. It's one of those things to keep the illusion for kids, because kids really like wrestling, and we like to keep that illusion for the sake of the kids and stuff like that. It's just to give kids a chance to root for them, for the characters in general. I mean, it's at worst it's a harmless thing if you ask me.
Well, true, and I guess Santa Claus is still out there.
But Santa Claus can't beat the crap out, can pull off some awesome fighting stunts.
True.
Anyway,
Oh wait, no, she's finally meeting him.
Oh my, that exquisite face, those sparkling eyes. The great sage of Hamlin, the flesh no less. Could I ham any more than this?
By saying my name.
An absolute vision.
I see what you did.
Hamming it up in Hamlin.
I see what
Thank
you did
you.
there, Hamlin.
Oh yeah, she had a picture of him in it. That's creepy.
How dare she have a crush? Wait, although I thought she had a thing with a
It's like-
blue.
we'll just
so-
you're not injured, I hope. I'm sorry, I was just busy eating some brains out there.
We are quite the picture of health, thank you very much, Abul. You'd do better to worry about the state of our beloved city. It's a good thing that restraint that we gave her is still in good effect.
So, how the heck does she conceive an heir, I wonder?
How the hell does she conceive what,
An
Joe?
heir.
Oh, an
I
heir.
don't really know the details.
Well, the
Yes,
same way
you're
cows
visually
do, I don't know.
confused.
No, I mean, at her...
See.
Okay, seriously, she has her eyes on, like, either a bull or Marcusson. How does that work?
Jova,
Tova?
you're bringing this into uncomfortable territory.
Hey,
Very
hey,
uncomfortable.
if Ponyo brought into the question, it's brought into question here.
He's God damn it, he's right.
Yeah, yes, Studio Ghibli is
I've
not
never seen
alien
that
to
movie.
this.
It's
Basically,
great. It's great, but it has some interesting implications.
basically,
Anyway,
Shiroi
It's
Ponyo's...
a Ghibli movie.
Basically, Shiroi Ponyo's mother is a giant woman, and her father is a regular-sized...
Of all people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her father is a regular-sized Liam O'Brien. I mean, Liam Neeson.
Joe, for a second I thought you were going to say the father likes to drive a van into your heart.
He drove a van somewhere, but it wasn't her heart.
Go ahead, Shiroi.
What about the flower? What if we found another one of those crystals? We might find another flower, didn't we?
It's simple. We just have to play enough card games to get back your memory.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I had a quick nose around while you were fighting away, and I couldn't find nothing more. Never mind the fact I'm literally staring at it
Yeah.
right in the face right now. But,
That lantern's getting in the way.
Yeah.
Shiroi?
There was a flower. Look, it's here.
It was right in front of us this entire time!
Where the flip did you find that?
It's right there!
Do you think maybe only P can find them? Even though we just saw them there because of Drippy's amazement?
That would make sense. They seem to be linked to her past somehow. I wonder if this one will teach us a bit.
Right. I guess it might, huh? I'm kind of nervous about what we might find
Java?
out. Yes?
No, I was just telling you to read your line. Never mind.
Say, P, could you show us?
It's a good
Sure,
thing YouTube
sure.
isn't taking a crap on me today. Like it was.
Don't
Of
jinx
course I
it.
can. Here.
Alright, new memory.
Here we go.
Chain of memories.
I always love these sequences with Yoshiaki Momose's artwork.
Apis. At least
Oh,
Oh.
that parrot looks familiar, doesn't
the
it?
council are doing.
Oh, she's gone mental. She's talking to birds.
It's interesting you say that, Wibbs. Hold on to that thought.
Dwibs?
He said the
Yes.
kingdom was in a parlous
I talk to my pets all the time.
too poor to buy bread.
And so does everyone I know.
Exactly.
Awkward. Anyway, moving on.
I mean, pets are there, you know. They're not just objects.
But for now, I just want to see. Now, I'll explain the psychology behind these later,
Tell me.
because I actually know.
Naughty to call instructions.
not evil.
Not evil indeed. Not evil indeed.
They remind me of the Neighborhood Watch Alliance from Hot Fuzz.
Really?
Yeah.
This
I'll be
is
surprised
subtlety
The
that'll
Neighborhood
make even,
Watch Alliance,
like,
are those the
18
bad guys?
watch, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they're the bad guys, Jova.
Honestly, I would argue.
Thereof.
Honestly, I would argue even in the previous flashback already from their tone, even though you were seeing their eyes. It was...
I know, but here, just god damn it. They're not even
Last time,
trying.
the obviousness was verbal. Now it's complete visual.
But don't you see, Teo? Don't you see, Teo? We love. Basically, it's kind of like Officer Jakes from Last Spectre. He's evil, he loves it, and he embraces it.
So basically, these guys tried to incur a coup and leave her with the blame, and the result, well, was not pretty.
Look at the bright side, Teo. Look at. Oh, anyway, it's actually important. So let's actually.
I know you will be proud of me.
Basically, what happened was the council was saying that she keeps wanting to be involved in the affairs of state, and so what they're doing is they're going to put her in charge of something just to keep her quiet and make her think that she's in charge, while in behind the scenes the council is still doing things the way they.
It's
And they're planning for something bad.
When the shoguns took over the government of Japan and let the emperor still be emperor, but they were actually running the state.
And they're planning for something bad to happen under her rules, so that whenever something bad happens, she'll take the blame.
By the way, I really like the actress playing Cassiopeia.
If this were Hot Fuzz, the reasons for doing this would be really petty. Like we zombified this lot because there were shitty actors. We did this lot because the houses looked awful.
Hot Fuzz, isn't that like a cop show? Comedy?
It's a British cop comedy film.
Ah. Sounds like... Oh, wait! Hot Fuzz, I feel like I've heard that.
So here's an interesting thing. She was talking to her father's grave, to her father in her father's grave, and she said specifically, "I know what to do now, Father. I have learned of this spell that can heal people and bring out the good in them. It's called mana."
Wait a minute. I just realized something. Offspring trying to do Father proud, but only make things worse. It's like Ubisoft with every single Tom Clancy game they've made ever since the guy's death. No, seriously.
on.
The guy's rolling in his grave. Anyway, back to the story.
So you think we just saw a scene from P's future?
Basically, Swin is confused. I mean, if that P looked adult, why is this P a child?
If
Please,
that were the case,
please.
her kingdom would still exist somewhere.
Yeah.
True.
But there's no record of it.
I wonder.
Well, actually, there
where it
is in the
could
Wizard's
be.
Companion. They're actually.
We've actually been getting, believe it or not, we've actually been getting foreshadowing to that very kingdom since the very time we first went to Ding Dong Dell.
Yeah.
I'll reveal what it is when we see it.
Oh, true. I forgot. Sorry.
We thought we might finally learn the truth about P's identity, but the mystery has only grown farther deep.
Well, I know one thing. I'm not a fan of that Council of 12 bunch. I'd trust them about as far as I could kick them. They're definitely plotting something. Nah, Swen, you're being paranoid. Come on.
Yes, poor P.
Oh.
I'll tell you, to quote what you usually say, the deepest lore.
Yes.
I just imagined. Could you imagine what if if someone wanted to kidnap P, the villain would say, "Excuse me, but I have to go and take a pee."
You're right, Pete. You'll tell us if you find another flower, won't you? Again, even though we could see the first one very fine.
Dweebs, I could see that
I'll
line.
find another one. It'll be easy peasy.
But I won't give it to you. It's mine.
Then we
Dweebs,
must
I could
head.
see the line that very poor pun that you made in like a 90s animated movie. Kind of like the Tom and Jerry movie.
The flower of faith.
Well, I'm funnier than that one.
It's a shame though, because
Next
like later,
destination, Hamelin.
you know, it's a shame though.
Anyway, time to give you another trivia lesson since you were asking during that that scene with the parrot. Basically, the impulse to people to become confident with each other is actually really great, even if you don't have a lot of human contact. So, if when you don't have a chance like to talk with someone, you want to, put out some stress. And tell what you think about it. That's the same logic behind why people write diaries. That's the same principle behind it. So most of them can talk to their pets, to confident.
And as I'm sure Theo will also agree with me, this wasn't the only time he did something like this, because what basically was when we get to season 3 of Yokai Watch, and you'll meet this new main yokai called Usepion. His backstory involving his original owner also deals with that particular aspect.
And it was very sad.
How are you supposed to run away?
No, that's okay, Dwebs. I'll beat the crap out of it instead, if you like it so much.
And also, to finish off what I was saying at the end of the previous part about Henry VI, might as well, it's not even the first time Level 5 does something like that, because I think I already mentioned to you, but it's basically the entire premise of Jeanne d'Arc. Even though they took some liberties, but it will be reserved from when we'll get to that game.
Japan taking a fairly grounded story and completely supernaturaling it. Gee, I've never seen that before.
So
wait! Wait till you guys see what Guy Ritchie did with the stone in the new King Arthur movie.
You're never letting go of that, Dweebs.
Don't have dots.
well, to be fair, I mean, wasn't the stone sort of supernatural?
Not in the way Dweebs described it.
What?
The only thing I can get over less than the stone is David Beckham's awful cameo performance.
So the movie was that bad, huh? Weird. I mean, isn't King Arthur... Okay, look. Was it bad because they didn't include the bad original ending where King Arthur dies in the end? Which
it was just
It was
mediocre.
more like David Beckham's cameo.
Really?
It's just mediocre. But basically, David Beckham had a speaking cameo, and I'm going to be honest, after David Beckham's speaking cameo in that film, Reese just leapfrogged Gordon Ramsay's cameo as the worst cameo I've ever seen.
So let me get this straight. A cameo is one of the main reasons that movie sucked?
Sorry, go ahead.
That's the problem, Joe. It's one of the big pivotal scenes of the movie, where Arthur first takes up the sword, and we have David Beckham there who looks completely out of place and
Yeah, with
sounds out
his
of place.
his hair and his voice, they just don't work. not in this time.
Oh boy. And you're
Also,
so...
Job, honestly, from what I've seen, it cannot be that worse compared to the 2004 movie. That one, to me, is the worst they did with the Arthurian cycle. Yes, even worse than Quest for Camelot.
2004 movie. I don't even remember 2004
Basically,
movie.
Joba, some cycle legend of its mystic elements and make it set in the Roman Empire.
What?
Well, excuse me?
Okay.
It's an Arthurian... It takes place in England, not Italy.
Okay, question.
Actually, it takes place in England, but supposedly it tells the story of Romans defending the Adrian Wall that was separating the Alps of Britain. And Arthur was like a commander there.
That's one thing Guy Ritchie did better than that one then. It is actually in Arthurian times, and there actually is a bit of magic here. Although, unfortunately, that's another problem with the acting in that film. The person they got to play the mage in that film was awful.
You mean Merlin?
No, Merlin's daughter, I think.
Oh, okay.
But she sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
In fact, I'm not sure what sucks more, her because she's in the film more, or David Beckham because he was so distracting in what's supposed to be the big pivotal scene of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll both make for a very...
It's kind of like one of the main reasons why I could not, even if the movie was good, I could not for the life of me get into the Sonic fan film, because all these random internet celebrity cameos that have nothing to do with anything were so distracting. I mean,
They're
seriously.
just in it because random celebrity YouTube things.
I'll just say this. If you rely so much on star power, at least to this level, you obviously don't have any faith in what you're actually writing.
Well, okay. There's a fine line there. I'd say if you're gonna have a star power, use them. As in, actually fully use them, as opposed to having them be cheap tactics to make your movie seem stronger than it actually is.
Don't fully use David Beckham.
Yeah.
So the boss of Ding Dong was King Tom. The boss of Al-Mamoon was Khalifa. So what's gonna be? There you
The
go.
tank.
This one.
Oh,
That's the tank.
A stronger tank.
hey, I think that's the same tank we fought.
Actually,
Porco Loco.
They turned it into a rollerblading monster.
Buy our toys. Buy our toys.
Toys.
Your clan is weak and silly while mine is strong. Well, you have sacrificed story content for mindless violence and lack of structure. Oh yeah, let's fight!
Not to be confused with Yu-Gi-Oh! XL.
Actually, that's pretty much a sum up of what Yu-Gi-Oh! XL is.
That's what I said, not to be confused with it.
And I actually didn't know until recently that Alice sat through that.
Zexel?
Why?
That through what?
My condolences.
Zexel, like she hates it just as much as the rest of you.
Let me guess, is he a Yu-Gi-Oh! fan?
Oh no, she's watched yeah, she's a Yu-Gi-Oh! fan. She's watched all the series and
Oh.
the abridged series.
Excellent. What are her thoughts on GX?
I don't know.
Oh well, GX is...
Anyway, much like with the previous tank boss, even here, since it's a machine, just use Thunder spell. The problem is, at this point, your Thunder magic is not that powerful, so you might as well rely on your powerful spells to begin with.
Or you can use this summon, which has thunder element.
Yeah, but again, it's
Jellyfish.
not that powerful compared to Monstar or even Star, even if it's super effective.
But it creates an open chance, as you just saw.
So I guess.
Remember, Teo, the battle system rewards you for doing
for a
this.
second page.
Yeah, but it doesn't that all the time, if I recall. It's
Well, yeah.
only-
Well, to be fair, if it did it all the time, these battles would be this one. It reminds me a bit of the third boss for Sonic 4 Episode 2.
So we're fighting a tank that was zombified into a monster that can rollerblade.
That has magnetism now, for some reason.
It's a mecha zombie. It's like something the sci-fi channel would come up with.
Well,
mecha zombies from Mars.
To be honest, Jova, you can tell everything about Resident Evil in its recent titles, aside from 7 obviously, not having that much, but at least they didn't do something as weird as a zombie robot.
Well, unless you count Nemesis in the movie.
First, the movies are not canon, okay? I mean,
And
you
no,
can tell
Nemesis cannot be taken down by
their own
him.
continuity. You can say they are bearing their own continuity, but fuck them.
I mean, seriously, they killed Jill off in the first movie just to replace her with what's her name, the main protagonist of the film series.
What film are you on about?
The
Resident Evil movies.
basically,
Paul W.S. Anderson.
basically, Dweebs, you know Jill Valentine from Resident Evil?
Hmm?
Yeah, they killed her off in the first movie, and then just ran with this new protagonist.
Just like a soap revival killed another Jill around about the same time.
See, here's the thing, though. This is Jill freaking Valentine we're talking about. One of the main protagonists of the Resident Evil series since the first game. The same Jill Valentine who managed to defeat Nemesis-y type, and yet she kills off. And yet she gets killed off before Nemesis even showed up in the third or second movie. And mind you, how they handled Nemesis was making him a human who used to be that, but then turned him into part robot, because apparently they could control him mechanically. And for some reason he can be beaten in hand-to-hand combat.
Time for your magic.
It's stupid.
Time for your magic, P.
Sanckified!
He's so cute.
Taste the brightness, motherfucker.
Do you think that means everyone in Hamlin is cured now?
No. There's that guy. Oh no, wait, he's always looked like a zombie.
There's somebody who's just outside the border, and it didn't
Which
quite-
means it's time for the prince to tend to his people.
Yeah, he walked out the gate before the magic could take effect. So
Yeah,
it
it only kills people within the city perimeter,
Oh,
basically.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Your Majesty, the city is in ruins.
Is it?
Ever been invaded by wild beasts?
Uh...
Yeah, about that. I watched what you called them. They were you. Dun dun dun.
It was Yule!
Oh. Good.
Us, we were the beasts.
This is terrible. Your Majesty, did we attack you?
Calm yourselves. As you can see, I am unharmed. I am more concerned about the state of our great city. Just let me hide my wounds with a potion. But our chief concern should still be to discover the cause of all this. Until I've done so, I must leave Hamlin in your hands.
Here, Marcuston, have a cheeseburger.
Captain Hogger,
I'm confused.
your orders are to begin
Well, remember,
reconstruction
Shirai,
immediately.
instead of potions, we use the actual proper food, like sandwiches and tea and stuff like that.
Yes, Your Majesty. You go to war, do you not? You must take our latest technologies with you.
That being
An
an
alchemy
alchemy formula.
Yay!
Your forethought is as welcome as ever, Captain. I leave the Empire in your capable hands.
Somebody go wrong.
Legend.
What could possibly go wrong?
Blimey. Is that the sound of a proud older brother that I hear?
Yes, it was like I was seeing a completely different person.
Are you implying I was helpless before?
Flying.
Helpless? Mopey, help me out here.
Okay, come on. Even after that, I made
There
a
you go.
promise to my brother.
Aww. Talk about
Yes,
that.
I mean you over there in the corner, Swain. In any case, Hogarth is a fine leader. He can be relied on to rebuild Hamlin while I am gone.
Alrighty then.
Like in the meantime, the city's on fire. People are screaming.
That's interesting you are. Righto, let's get back to the Iron Wyvern, shall we?
Off we go.
All right, now
Time.
everything should be fine. Well, aside, we need to get another flower.
Time for another flashback.
We have saved the Free Kingdoms from the scourge of the mana. This was a
Yay.
surprisingly easy zombie outbreak to deal with.
Time for our next flower spack.
As representative of the peoples of this world, I give you our heartfelt thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
We need another thing.
You're welcome.
There's no need to pray. It's okay. You're welcome. Good.
It was all thanks to P, really.
We did nothing again!
Yay! Thanks to P.
Oh god, this is
Alright,
becoming
I don't
full
think
of
you
so.
go up too much.
And
You're
yet,
turning it.
we are no closer to
turning
knowing
into a
who it
narcissist.
was that sent the mana to assail us.
True, we had to find out who's responsible and held them responsible.
Your magic allowed us to avert a tragedy of unthinkable proportions, P. But we cannot allow this to happen again.
And Kublai still has no fucking lines.
Well, to be fair, it's not like he has much to contribute.
Then why putting him in the scene at all?
That is weird, admittedly.
Too right, man. We need to find whoever was behind all this and get them a proper hiding.
And then he goes
Oh,
up to
hiding
Akira.
basically means Drippy's basically saying we're gonna beat the crap out of them.
And then yeah, he goes up to Pedro. It's like, dude, how come I'm not getting any lines?
But we have no idea who it could be. Perhaps not. Although something about P's story has been troubling me. You know, guys, I might actually know where you need to go based off of what you're saying. It has? I'm a very good navigator. When we were in your world, she told you that the ash rolling was her fault, did she not? You know, she does actually remind me of a certain civilization that I've seen somewhere flying around. Well, sure, but hey, there's no way it was her. That's impossible. Never mind the fact that it was technically me who was Shadar. It's impossible.
And it has proven that powerful wizards can time travel anyway, even though this is not the case.
Does it not? Does it not also seem impossible that a tiny child could have the ability to reverse the effects of the mana? And yet, we have seen it with our very own eyes. But this is not the only reason. I think she may be able to tell us more.
Well, we know from the first flashback that she's the daughter of the Wizard King, so obviously she has a great magical heritage.
Fucking
I believe P may hold the key to unlocking this entire mystery. You know, because the entire mystery is revolving around her.
Mystery. Did Dr. Seuss write this game?
Oh, you found another flower, did you? Great. Let's have a look at that pretty young queen.
It reminds me one of those flowers from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, sure.
Is this really the time for your stupid comments? We need to take this seriously.
As seriously as you can.
P's got the key by...
Indeed. I fear this next vision may not be a pleasant one. How do
Indeed,
you know?
considering the last line was, the spell is called mana, I'm assuming no.
No matter. We must see the truth with our very own eyes. P, would you be so kind?
No.
Oh.
Here.
Alright, here we go. This character bipolar.
Yes.
Why is my inner monologue always such a douche?
I don't know why.
Wait.
How could this happen? Every man, woman, and child in my kingdom. How? Why did this happen?
If I recall correctly, didn't the Council of 12 also put her up to this?
Not.
No. She did this of her own accord.
Decision.
It was her own
Surprisingly.
decision. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what makes it all the more ironic and tragic. The fact that it was literally her entire doing, even though she had good intentions.
And the
There you
Council.
go.
It was something that the council completely not predicted, and surprise, shit happened.
See, they didn't need to do anything evil.
Well, admittedly, they didn't exactly help things by trying to take away control from her entirely to the point where she wanted to do anything to help.
Yeah. Here we
Well,
go.
as a ruler, I mean, I understand. But
I allowed the Council of 12 to control everything.
Yep.
But the Council paid not the slightest heed to the well-being of my subjects.
You know,
Oh,
guys,
there
you
you
could
go.
just usurp the throne without being dicks.
so where's the fun in that?
Yeah,
Not
what's the
like
fun
in
in
the
that?
contract or anything.
The one on the left looks like the judge from Phoenix Wright.
Scales had fallen from my eyes. I felt the desperation.
So basically, the Council
So,
of
yeah,
12 were
she-
running her kingdom into the ground, so she was desperate to save it.
She eventually found out on her own that by leaving the palace that everybody was poor, like the council was pretty much keeping all the money to themselves, and that's why she wanted to use the mana, because she thought that the mana would purify their hearts and they would become good. Unfortunately, it turned everybody in her kingdom into zombies, and everybody killed themselves.
Yeah.
That is what drew me to the spell that would save the world.
Okay, whoever wrote this, whoever decided to create that spell and yet lie about what it does, you're a dick, you know that?
Like, seriously.
Hey, Dwebs, you know what would be really funny? If you create this spell that turns everybody into flesh-eating zombies,
Well,
but you watch going to lie and say that it actually purifies people. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be that.
Well,
stupid.
Pedro, as soon as Einstein discovered his most famous equation, he immediately regretted it, and in a couple of years, he doubly regretted it. Forget it.
And the sad part is that, ironically, it's kind of did its purpose. It's just not the way that she would hope. She destroyed all. The spell specifically said it would destroy all evil in the world. It's just not in the way that she expected it. That's the sad part.
I'm guessing it's a spell that looks for any little bit of evil it can find, or...
It's kind of a reference to Holy Final Fantasy VII. Its purpose was to purify...
Wow, so she was completely
over.
over...
Of it, and humanity could have been wiped in the process.
Yeah, and here's another thing. As a result, she became alone in her front. She's literally the last one left in her kingdom, and since she has eternal life because of being the daughter of the Wizard King, she's condemned to stay here alone for all eternity.
Though, if she has eternal life...
It's kind of like another tale of a Wizard's Companion.
Then that makes me wonder, how did her father die if he had eternal life too?
I don't know. They never explained that though. I'm guessing. Well, the thing, my guess is kind of like what works the way with Shadar. In the sense that you have eternal life, as in you don't die of old age, but you can still get murdered. I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, you thought
kind of like in the.
So maybe it was immortally injured.
It's kind of like in Dragon Ball, where King Piccolo wished for eternal life, but that only means he won't age. It technically means he can still be literally biologically killed.
True.
And King Garlic Jr., but we don't talk about that.
I don't mind it that much, honestly. But
no,
anyway.
I know, but I'll talk about him later. For now, important stuff.
So the person behind all of this is Queen Cassiopeia.
No one was buying my keyboards anymore.
She may not have intended any harm, but it seems a distinct possibility. You're right! She said that she would be waiting, didn't she? In a place called Nazca. I feel like I've heard that name so many times.
Snowy old Nazca.
Nazca, eh? Crikey, that's a blast from the past.
Remember that.
What is it? Do you know something about this place?
For the record of those who haven't read The Wizard's Companion.
Heck, didn't we actually have to speak Nazca where Drippy translated it?
The alphabet comes from there.
Yeah, but it was for optional puzzles that are technically not obligatory, so they
Actually, needed for the free stones at the first stone.
Yeah, that's right. It was needed for the free stones.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that then. For those who didn't read anything aside from the obligatory, here's the Nazcan alphabet thing.
And
anyway.
Queen Cassiopeia has been waiting for all that time?
And even then, there are people here who don't have the Wizard's Companion, so it makes sense that they would ask about this.
If we can find the site of the ancient kingdom, perhaps we can solve the mystery of the mana at last.
It reminds me of that one of my favorite gags in the first Avengers movie, where everybody's in there, and I wish I would like to see how Loki turned my villains into their personal flying monkeys, and then got it. I understood that reference.
Yes. That movie is just the right mixture of being topical and yet practical.
Yes, we have to stop her. Oh.
Swain is angry.
Alright, let's go find the kingdom of Nazca.
Yeah, he looks pissed.
Everyone is
fucking pissed.
This
like
time,
Kirby.
Shit's got serious, yo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, who else remembers that?
He was living in the city. He lived a normal life, but the mob took everything from him.
Oh yeah, who else?
Revenge.
Oh yeah, who else remembers that nightmare fuel-inducing trail of Kirby?
Anyway.
Yeah, moving on. See everybody for the next part, where we finally reach the kingdom of Nazca.
Alright, see ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.